freest place in the world.
Girl, it's official. Meghan Markle didn't just quietly walk away from the noise. She hit the eject button hard. Full-blown escape mode activated. After weeks of scandal, scorn, and the savage shade from South Park, Meghan is out, like gone. And not just to any getaway, she's reportedly jetted off to Dubai, honey. Yes, Dubai. The opulent oasis where billionaires play, privacy is sacred, and paparazzi know better than to chase royalty through the dunes. But let's be crystal clear, this ain't no luxurious vacation for self-care. No, this is an emergency retreat, a high glamour escape from a reputation crashing faster than a royal tea party scandal.
42 million views. So they're sitting there in Montecito thinking, hang on a minute, we're actually getting a viral video here.
Dubai, darling, the land of golden silence and no prying eyes. The exact opposite of the PR hell Meghan left behind in LA and London. But she didn't just flee because the weather in England sucks. No, ma'am, she bolted right after the news broke that Parliament wasn't just fed up. They were taking action. Real action. Legislative title stripping action.
Buzzing after Meghan Markle sent a gift to a friend using her former title, Her Royal Highness, despite the fact.
That's right, the House of Lords finally put its foot down. These aren't whispers in palace halls. This is formal business. Real British lawmakers moved to strip Harry and Meghan of their Duke and Duchess titles. And no, it wasn't just for show. It was the royal hammer slamming down on a couple that turned royal status into a Netflix hustle. And just when you thought it couldn't get any messier, enter South Park.
I love being able to be that person with the people that I love. So, worthiness, maybe part of worthiness comes when you stop having to be.
The cartoon came in hot, like Unfiltered, burned the house down hot. Meghan and Harry got the full parody roast, mocked for their global privacy tour, dragged for monetizing their pain, and made to look like clout-chasing grifters. And this time, the laughter, it wasn't just from the haters. Even longtime defenders were giggling through their popcorn. But Meghan, she tried damage control fast. Suddenly, she's in podcasts, barefaced, no makeup, raw and real vibes. Only the lighting was too perfect, the voice too soft, the vulnerability too perfectly timed. It screamed brand strategy, not breakdown. The public wasn't buying it anymore. A new poll dropped and boom, most Brits sided with King Charles and Prince William. Meghan didn't just walk away from royal duty, she kept the title like it was a designer handbag and cashed in. And that's what's been driving folks mad. She slapped her Duchess brand on every podcast, every docuseries, every stage photo, still flashing the HRH sparkle when she hadn't bowed to a crown in years.
I'm the Queen, the late Queen Elizabeth, new instinct.
Now here's the gag. Buckingham Palace warned her. Queen Elizabeth, God rest her royal soul, was clear. Leave the firm and the perks leave with you. No titles, no branding, no half-in, half-out fantasy. And Meghan, she smiled politely, then did what Meghan always does. Her own thing. Enter Prince William. Quiet, calculated, but now done playing nice. Sources say he's fully backing the move to yank their HRH titles for good. Gloves off. And the monarchy no longer keeping it cute. Meanwhile, Meghan is acting like she's in a Beyonce music video, posting glowing concert selfies, looking flawless, pretending nothing is happening. And the truth behind those photos? Word is, they weren't even invited by Beyonce. They were plus ones, courtesy of Paramount exec Brian Robbins and his wife. So much for star power. And don't even get us started on Harry. While Meghan was posing in soft lighting, Harry was out here getting roasted on national TV. That BBC interview, a disaster. He begged for taxpayer-funded security while living in California. The guy left the UK for freedom, and now he wants royal protection? Baby, you can't have it both ways. And Meghan, ever the PR queen, kept that grin wide at concerts while her husband was face-planting on national airwaves. The whole thing just screamed tone deaf. It was painfully clear, while Harry's losing the last thread connecting him to the royals, Meghan is out here spinning stories like nothing's wrong. And everyone saw through it. The media, the fans, even her stans. They didn't call it resilience. They called it damage control because Meghan doesn't want to disappear. No. She wants to own the narrative. But behind the filters, podcasts, and curated captions, it's all collapsing. Parliament isn't asking if they should strip the titles. They're asking how. Petitions are stacking up. Lawmakers are lining up. And Buckingham Palace? dead silent, which for them speaks volumes.
If you're the Duke of Sussex or Duke and Duchess of Sussex, I just find it very uncomfortable, and I think a huge number of your viewers would agree.
The most telling part is not even the tabloids leading the charge anymore. It's the public. The same public who once called Meghan a breath of fresh air, a modern princess, a woke royal now. They're calling her manipulative, performative, exhausting, and Harry, he's not getting a pass either. Parliament's coming for him just as hard. That BBC interview didn't help his case. It exposed how out of touch he's become. This is no gossip battle, y'all. This is constitutional drama. The monarchy gave them everything, and they've spent years dragging it in the mud. But guess what? Even the crown has limits. Meghan's recent Mother's Day Instagram post, a picturesque rollout with poetic captions and kids arranged like props. And no, people didn't doubt her love for her children. They questioned why even her most personal moments felt like brand campaigns. Because if you're crying for privacy while staging every detail of your life like a Vogue cover shoot, eventually people notice.
Yeah, I agree.
So we are in total agreement. They are very dependent on each other.
And when people do notice, they remember the speeches, the pledges, the activism. Meghan talked about changing the world, empowering women, uplifting Africa. But where's all that now? Gone. Ghosted. Even Sabal, the women's charity they once championed, quietly dropped after private tensions. Seems like when the spotlight fades or things get messy, the Sussexes disappear. And now Meghan's in Dubai. Not just out of the UK, but out of the continent. She's traded Los Angeles traffic for desert luxury. And trust, it's not some spiritual cleanse. Insiders say she's meeting investors, plotting brand deals, trying to reboot the Meghan Markle empire from a place where Duchess still sounds expensive. Because Dubai doesn't care about Parliament, they care about glam, money, and connections. Meghan's not hiding, she's strategizing. She's attending invite-only sustainability panels with billionaires and foreign royals. She's trying to sell herself not as a disgraced duchess, but as a global icon. But the timing couldn't be messier. The real storm didn't come from the royals. It didn't come from Parliament. It came from a cartoon. South Park, y'all. Oh, that's right. The show that's roasted everyone from Tom Cruise to Kanye decided to take a swing at Meghan and Harry. And baby, it hit. They were dubbed the Prince and Princess of Canada, dragging suitcases of money while yelling, "We want our privacy," all while appearing on talk shows, writing books, and dropping docuseries like confetti. The joke was brutal, and the world howled. Meghan, she was livid. Word is she called the episode racist, sexist, cruel, every name in the PR book. But guess what? This time, no one came to her rescue. The same public that once cheered her on just shrugged. Even former fans whispered the word she never wanted to hear, overexposed. Suddenly, she vanished. No paparazzi shots, no new podcast teasers. Meghan Markle, the woman who once dominated headlines, went full ghost mode until Dubai. Instead, it was Cringe City. And the second that title disappears, so does the power that comes with it. Because let's be real, the Duchess of Sussex sells. It books interviews, secures speaking gigs, gets magazine covers, and six-figure brand deals. Take that away, they become just another ex-celebrity couple with an expensive house and a bunch of canceled projects. And Meghan knows it. That's why she's in Dubai. Not just to escape, not just to cry into a gold-rimmed teacup. She's there to rebuild. But the timing couldn't be worse. Even her so-called global rebrand tour in Nigeria turned into a PR nightmare. What was meant to be a philanthropic gesture got slammed by critics as a vanity tour. All style, no substance. Photo shoots, speeches, but very little follow-through. And meanwhile, she's still trying to sell that old narrative, the misunderstood outsider, the woman who just wanted to raise her kids, build her own path, be free. But now, nobody's buying it. You can only blame the media for so long before people start looking at you, your choices, your contradictions, your camera-ready family moments that feel more like campaign ads than candid memories. And what's happening now? It's not bullying, it's accountability. Because while Meghan continues to reposition herself as the voice of modern motherhood and feminine leadership back in Britain, King Charles is getting ready to lower the boom. He's no longer the soft-hearted father caught between sons, not after being called a racist in bestseller books and Netflix docs, not after enduring years of media war while trying to keep the peace. Insiders say he's done. The gloves are off, the crown is ready to speak, and when it does, it will be final. Meghan may have built her entire post-Pace world around that one word, Duchess. But now, that word is hanging by a thread, and the scissors, they're in the hands of King Charles and Parliament. Because once the royal family speaks, really speaks, it's done. No debate, no appeals, no Oprah interview to undo it. When that statement from Buckingham Palace drops, it won't just be a press release, it will be a royal execution. And that's why Meghan's not coming back anytime soon, because what's left for her in California? A toxic media minefield, a husband hemorrhaging public support, a podcast empire that never took off, and a nation, both Britain and America, that seems to be collectively saying, we're over it. Dubai, on the surface, is glam, 5-star hotels, private jets, invite-only galas. But look closer and it's clear this is Meghan's panic room. And even there, the walls are thin. At one recent exclusive gala, guests heard Meghan openly venting, yes, venting, to a UAE philanthropist about the unfair treatment she's been getting, about how no one understands her, about how she's done everything right, but the press still attacks. Sound familiar? That's the same line she's been using since Megxit. The same sentiment echoed in every podcast, every interview, every caption. But now it's wearing thin. Because at some point, people stop asking, why is the world so mean to her, and start wondering, what's she doing to keep inviting the drama? When every project feels like a soft lit campaign, when every charity gets ghosted quietly after the photo op, when every quote leads back to her own pain, it stops sounding like advocacy and starts sounding like strategy. And back in the UK, that strategy is being shredded because this fight isn't just about a title anymore. It's about what that title means. It's about whether royal privilege should exist without royal responsibility. It's about integrity, legacy, and the line between freedom and exploitation. And Meghan, she might be sipping rosé in the desert, but back home, her legacy is burning. And while Meghan tries to manifest a new life under the Dubai sun, the clock is ticking back in Britain. Because if Parliament succeeds, if the motion to strip them of their titles passes, Harry and Meghan won't just lose the names. They'll lose the influence. No more Duke and Duchess as an entry on Brandex. No more royal allure to pitch podcast ideas or book gigs. No more built-in legitimacy. Just Mr. and Mrs. Mountbatten, Windsor. Two ex-royals whose public goodwill has slowly turned to ash. And without that royal prefix, what is Meghan Markle really selling? A lifestyle? Maybe. A redemption arc? Possibly. A legacy? That's what she gambled. And that's what's slipping fast. Because her retreat to Dubai, for all its expensive meals and desert sunsets, doesn't erase what the world saw. It doesn't undo the South Park parody. It doesn't silence Parliament. It doesn't fool the British public or even Hollywood anymore. And then there's Harry. The man who once symbolized youthful rebellion and quiet strength has become the face of awkward interviews and royal entitlement. His team tried to recast him as a wounded soldier, a man with trauma trying to navigate modern life. But when you're out here suing your own government while asking them to protect you, that sympathy runs dry. And Meghan? She's watching it all unfold from afar, fuming, frustrated, and now, according to palace insiders, afraid. Because the one thing she never planned for, the crown fighting back, is happening. No more polite silence from Buckingham Palace. No more behind-the-scenes hand-wringing. King Charles is preparing his move. Parliament is lining up votes. Even Prince William is done with the olive branches. This time, it's not just a media scandal. It's a full-blown royal reckoning. And the crown doesn't do second chances. If that official announcement comes, if Harry and Meghan are stripped of their final remaining titles, it won't just be a PR disaster. It will be the death of the brand because, let's face it, without royal attached to their names, what do they have left? A controversial memoir, a canceled Spotify contract, a struggling lifestyle brand, and a public more skeptical than ever. And Meghan knows this. She knows the world isn't listening to speeches anymore. They're watching actions. They're asking, where are the charities, the impact, the real work, and most of all, where's the truth? Dubai can offer her space, luxury, and quiet, but it can't erase the damage because the royal family may be slow to speak, but when they do, it's final. And if that hammer drops, Meghan Markle won't just lose a title, she'll lose the very identity that powered her post-Palace empire. The crown made her global, and now it might just take everything back.